I gotta become the apex predator.
Tariq!
Have mercy on me.
Drug dealers are like cockroaches.
Have mercy on me.
Impossible to eradicate. Believe me, I tried.
Don't let my heart turn cold. Have mercy on me.
Everything I did for our family.
One of the big question marks that I think a lot of people had from the trailer from season 4 was this a hallucination scene? I ran through 2 different perspectives where we made the case for it being one of the kids, or a hallucination, and we've actually got the confirmation. Mecca and Lorenzo being there behind Monet, it definitely gives us a confirmation that it is indeed a hallucination. So in the rest of this breakdown, we're going to be running through Lorenzo and Mecca's return, what we should expect in this scene, who else I expect to be in a hallucination, and what conversation we might hear them having in Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4. Now I do think this particular scene is from episode 1. It just makes sense that with Monet in surgery, she's going to be fighting for her life at the beginning of Season 4. I think there's going to be 1,000,001 things happening in Season 4, Episode 1. There's going to be Kane and the Tejadas going on the attack. Tariq and Brayden will have their back against the wall, but also going on the attack as well. But this is definitely something I do expect to be in Episode 1. Monet in surgery and really facing an uphill battle to stay alive. Now I do think she's also going to be fine. I do think we've got enough confirmation from the teasers and trailers that she will eventually pull through. But what is she thinking at this moment in time while she's looking at herself in surgery? Because that's what I think it is, Monet looking at herself. She's probably thinking she's not ready to go, she's not ready to die. All her life she's been fighting in a man's world, and I do expect it to remain that way. I expect her to fight until the very last breath, although it really is going to be a real eye-opener for her. Does she have any regrets? Does she feel as if she could have done something different to avoid the situation she finds herself in? Does she have any regrets in terms of the way she raised her kids, or what she did to either Mecca or Lorenzo? I do think with Mecca she did what needed to be done. I wasn't a big fan of them killing Mecca because he was Power Book 2 Ghost's big bad, and I think they could have done so much more with his storyline, especially when we learned about his character connection to Felipe Lobos, how he knew about Ghost, Tommy, and what Tariq did to Ghost. But with Mecca, they share a lot of history that dates back 22 years. They were childhood lovers, they also had Zeke, and rekindled their romance years later, only for Monet to kill Mecca after learning about all the lies. So I do think we can expect them to go back in time, talking about their history and talking about the situation with Zeke, but I'm definitely excited to see Mecca back. As I mentioned, I don't think they should have killed him off when they did, so it is good to see him back, at least in a hallucination, where I do think he's going to stick the knife into Monet that much more.
They're gonna figure it out. And when they do, those kids are never gonna forgive you.
Now what about Lorenzo? Let's not forget he warned her at the end of 306 in her last hallucination. These kids will turn on her when they find out the truth, and turn on her they did. So I actually wonder whether Lorenzo says something in this hallucination that actually triggers something in Monet's mind to the extent where she actually begins to question, wait, did my kids actually betray me? I do expect this conversation with both Lorenzo and Mecca to be a real eye-opener for Monet, where she realizes some of the bad decisions she's made, because Mary J. Blige did tease it will humble her. But I also feel she'll stand her ground and tell Mecca and Lorenzo that everything she's done to protect the family. In one of the previous teasers that was released which matches up to this, that's what Monet said. Everything I did for this family. So no doubt, this conversation is going to be quite feisty with a bit of back and forth, with Monet protecting her decisions that she's made. And I always say, look at both viewpoints. Yeah, Monet did what she had to do because Lorenzo chose this life, not her. She had to be strong and raise the kids in a certain way to protect them. But she also hasn't helped the situation because as the kids have grown older, they've decided they want different things. And that's where they've kind of started to clash. That's when Drew and Diana said enough's enough, we want control over our own lives. Or Kane where he found a sense of power and control elsewhere. So I do think we are going to be in for some feisty conversations between Mecca, Lorenzo and Monet. Now apart from Lorenzo and Mecca, there is another character that's gone who meant a hell of a lot to Monet, Zeke Cross. And considering Monet seeing Lorenzo and Mecca, it only seems right that she also sees Zeke. Zeke delivering some home truths around how she should have done more to protect him, how he had all his future ahead of him, but it was ripped away because of the game that Monet was in. I do think this hallucination won't be complete without seeing Zeke and seeing the one person she cared about the most. Zeke was a golden boy, he was a ticket out of the street game, and I do hope if she does see Zeke that he reminds her of that. I hope he reminds Monet of the mistakes she made and how it cost Zeke his life. We can all point the fingers at Diana looking in the bag and telling Lorenzo. We can also blame Lorenzo's impulsive move, but Monet's the one who kept the secret for 22 years. She's the one who brought the game to his doorstep at Stansfield. she was the one who was distracted with Mecca while he was being questioned by Whitman. So I do also hope along with Lorenzo and Mecca, she also sees Zeke. Now elsewhere in this Entertainment Weekly article, they also teach Jeanette Stewart's role, Monet's cousin sister. She said she's the church family member that judges them for being what they are, but she's the one that knows Monet very well. So it doesn't seem like Jeanette Stewart is in the game herself, but someone who may be challenging them in ways they've never been challenged before. So let's see what happens when Jeanette Stewart makes her appearance. I do think she's going to have an impact on a few of the Tejadas. But that's a breakdown of a couple of the new images that were released, basically confirming this scene is a hallucination with Mecca and Lorenzo. And I also think Zeke will form a part of it as well. It only makes sense that Monet sees everything that she's destroyed and lost, very similar to Tariq's hallucination from season 2. But drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know what you make of this hallucination scene, and will we get any others? I think we will. I think this scene with Tariq is also a hallucination, but will we see another? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.